we are becoming a shining light. The Apostle Paul writes to Christians in Turkey in the 1st century, "Since we live by the Spirit, let us keep in step with the Spirit." And elsewhere he writes to these Christians in Philippi in Greece, and he says that they shine like stars in the dark world. You see, there is something that is massive that changes in the heart and the life of a person when the Spirit of God comes to live in them. And that happens when someone turns and puts their faith in Jesus. All Christians have the Spirit of God living in them. Now, to be clear, it is not any moral living or good works that makes someone a Christian in any way. But when someone has put their faith in Jesus, and therefore they've received the grace of God, and now God himself has come to live in that person, come to dwell in them by his Spirit. Well, listen, that doesn't and that can't leave that person the same as before. There is and there has to be a drastic change. It's this total about turn of life and of lifestyle. So now we live for Christ, and now we live by his Spirit. And so the Bible calls Christians time and again to live by the Spirit, to not grieve the Spirit, to keep in step with the Spirit, to listen to the Spirit, to obey God's words. Sadly, it's common today for Christians to want to claim Jesus as their Saviour, to forgive them, but to not want him to be their Lord and their King, to not want to follow him or to do what he says, to not give control of their life to him, but to keep control of it themselves. But we don't want to be like that at the Gate Church. No, we want to go about living all of life for Christ and helping each other to do that. And listen, if we do that, and to the extent we do that, then our lives are going to look very different to what they were before, different to what they even were last year, as we grow in our relationship with Christ and are more obedient to the Spirit in our lives. And certainly different to the lives of people around us. And so we will stand out as shining lights. It's the key part of our Christian witness to people around, that we live such good lives among people that though they may accuse us of doing wrong, they will see our good deeds, and one day they will come to glorify God. So not everyone's drawn to a shining light, are they? Some people are kind of put away from it, but some are. Some people are. Rather than falling over ourselves to prove to people around us that Christians are just like them and just as cool as them or whatever else. No, the call of the Spirit on our lives is that we would live such distinctive lives in 21st century Birmingham for the fame of Christ, that we'd stand out. We are becoming shining lights. There's one thing that I think, again, many things, but one thing that this looks like in practice. It is this deep commitment to meaningful and honest and open two-way relationships in community groups, which would include opening up to our struggles and our weaknesses, include sharing our lives with people and letting them share their lives and their struggles and their weaknesses and their strengths and good bits with us. And so in those deep relationships, encouraging one another to live all of life all in for Christ.